Welcome to Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas. I'm Doug, and today we're going to make my favorite, Migas. It's a Tex-Mex favorite. Stay tuned. Welcome to Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas. I'm Doug, and today we're going to make a Tex-Mex favorite called Migas. And it's scrambled eggs mixed with some other yummy stuff. So hopefully you're going to stay tuned and try my recipe next on Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas. Okay, so let's talk about the ingredients you're going to need. We're going to need some eggs, first of all. And I bought the extra large eggs. And depending on how many is going to eat this, that really determines how many eggs you should use. But for 2 people, I'm going to use around 5 eggs. And so you're going to need 5 extra large eggs. Also, you're going to need 1 white onion. You're going to need 3 little bell peppers. Now, I get 1 in every color except for the green. So I have a red, an orange, and a yellow. Super important. 2 avocados, 2 tomatoes. These are Roma tomatoes. And you're also going to need, now migas is usually made with corn tortilla chips. Actually corn tortillas that you cut in strips and you fry it up. But I didn't have any corn tortillas, so I'm using Tostitos, bite-sized corn chips here. And what I did was I just got a few and it got this bowl here and I just kind of broke it up a little bit. So if you wanted to use that, you can use that also. We're also gonna need some cilantro, chives. We also need diced green chilies and some jalapenos. I'm using the pickled jalapenos. Mexican style cheese, I just buy it in the bag. And lime juice and some pecani sauce and some sour cream. So stay with us and we're gonna make some yummy migas and scramble up those eggs. Stay tuned. Okay, so welcome back. So I'm gonna get my 5 eggs here. And when you crack your eggs, if you want to use a separate bowl to make sure no shells go into it, you can do that. I'm just going to crack it into this bowl right here. I feel pretty confident in my egg cracking. And like I said, we need 5. Hi. So I got some knives here. I'm gonna chop up some cilantro first, and make sure you always wash your cilantro. Even if it says washed, I'd wash it anyway. All right, now your chives. You're gonna chop up those chives. It's always best to use fresh chives. Could you use the dry chives? Yeah, you could, but I don't think it gives it the same flavor, the same taste. How much chives do you need? Probably you need at least a good tablespoon. All right, so now we're going to break up the egg and get this out of the way so you guys can see. When I break this egg up, you want to make sure that you're going back and forth really quick. And I just break it up with a fork. Add a little salt and pepper, freshly ground black pepper, and a little salt. I'm gonna add my chives. I'm gonna put that to the side for right now. What we wanna do is you wanna start cutting up and chopping your vegetables. And these, like I said, have been cleaned already. And like I'm gonna use red peppers in this, in my migas. I'm gonna use orange and yellow. I just love the colors colors look really nice. And you want to chop them up very small. In 1 tablespoon of butter, I'm also going to use approximately a tablespoon of extra virgin olive oil. I'm going to heat that up. Get my favorite wooden fork. I almost said spoon. Wooden fork, and melt that like that. And then I'm going to put my onions in there, cook up my onions first, then my peppers, then my mushrooms. All right. Let that cook up a little bit. Make sure that it's warm enough, my pan is warm enough. Now I'm going to add my white onions. I just love this dish. I kind of came up with it, and it's really a combination of different things that I've seen and tasted along the way. And you know, to make Tex-Mex migas, it's pretty, it pretty much has all similar ingredients, but I added a lot of new stuff to it and a lot more vegetables to it, like the mushrooms and the peppers. Usually you just see migas with onions and cilantro, and probably you'll see tomatoes with it too, which is usually made with it. Okay, so I'm going to cook that up. You want to cook your onions up for approximately 5 minutes, just so they get nice and they get soft and translucent. 5 to 7 minutes on the onions. Okay, so my onions have been cooking for a few minutes, and I'm going to add some freshly ground black pepper to my onions and a little pinch of salt, just a little salt. Like that. Give it a nice toss with my wooden fork. Cook it up for a couple more minutes. Smells so good. Now I'm going to add approximately 1 tablespoon of minced garlic. I love garlic and onions together. Oh, it smells so good. Since I'm going to be adding a lot of vegetables, I'm going to now add another tablespoon of butter and a little bit more extra virgin olive oil because of the amount of vegetables I am using for this delicious dish. Now you can make migas any time of the day, but it's usually served for breakfast. This makes a really yummy breakfast. And I'm going to be making a drink with it too, which is going to be a little unexpected. You're probably never going to guess what kind of drink I'm going to make with this. Delicious migas. You could have, of course, orange juice with it. You could have a mimosa with it. Regular coffee, but you'll find out what we're going to make at the end of this video. All right, now I'm going to add my peppers. These have been chopped up, diced up. Super fine, super small. Oh, look at those colors. I just love how that looks. It smells so good too. Oh my gosh. I wish you guys could smell it. I hope you try this recipe. It's really easy, it's not hard. Okay. Get those peppers cooked up a little bit. Let that cook for a couple of minutes. Okay, now I'm going to add my 1 can. It's 4 ounces of diced green chilies. Try your best to drain the liquid out as best you can. If you have a little bit of liquid in there, it's okay, but you don't want too much liquid in there. I'm gonna mix that together. Oh my gosh, look at that, that looks so good. See, that's why I didn't have the green bell pepper, because the green chili is there. And plus, my jalapenos. Now, that's probably, I don't know, maybe almost a tablespoon of chopped, diced up jalapenos, pickled jalapenos. If you don't like jalapenos or if they're too spicy for you, you can always leave it out. Yum, this looks so good. Okay, and then I got 2 more things to add. Now, there's my mushrooms. So what I'm gonna do with my mushrooms is I get, no, not that knife. I get, it's not that knife either. It's that knife. I just kind of chop it up real quickly. Mushrooms will cook down, but I don't want really big chunks of mushrooms, so I'm just chopping it in my little strainer here real coarsely. Doesn't have to be perfect or anything. Kind of chop it up a little bit. Okay. That big one there and there. Okay, I'm gonna add my mushrooms. Stir those mushrooms. And if you remember earlier, I added a pinch of salt. I'm gonna add a little bit more salt now because of the mushrooms are in there. Just a little bit. And a little bit more pepper too, because I just love pepper. If you don't like that much pepper, then you don't have to add the extra pepper. And a little bit more salt. And I'm going to cook this up probably for a couple of minutes, and then I'm going to add my tomatoes. My tomatoes will be last, and of course the cilantro, but I don't want to add that in yet. Okay, so you want to cook your mushrooms, all your vegetables, for about 5 more minutes. Make sure the mushrooms are nice and tender. And I cook it with the lid on because I think it cooks a little faster that way. Plus, I think it makes it nice and tender, those mushrooms. All right, now next we're gonna get our tomatoes. So let me take the lid off now. Get my tomatoes and I'm gonna add that in. Give it a little stir. Like that. I'm gonna add half of my cilantro that I chopped up. You want to save the other half for kind of like garnish. Put on top. And usually you'll see this made with the cheese that goes in the egg. You can do it that way. I'm gonna add my cheese to the vegetables. And depends on how much cheese you want. I just want enough to kind of cover the top, and it will melt all together. Make a yummy mixture. Oh, so good. Look at that. Doesn't that look fantastic? Look at those colors. Oh. When you have a colorful plate, then you know you're eating well. Nice. All right. Looks good. Now, let's make our eggs. Well, welcome back. So we're going to make our eggs now. Now, we broke up our eggs earlier, and it's super important that when you break it up, Make sure those egg whites are broken up well. I added the salt. I added some salt and pepper and chives to that. Okay, looks good. Now I'm going to turn on my pan. And isn't this a cute pan? Has some chilies on it. I thought that was cute. And I'm going to add a tablespoon of butter to my pan. And when you make your scrambled eggs, it's really important that, I mean, some people like when scrambled eggs are a little bit harder, but they really should be made soft. And we're gonna add some heavy cream to our eggs. Okay, so my butter is melted. I'm gonna add my eggs. And what you want to do is with the whisk, you're going to kind of push it back and forth. If you can cook it on a low flame. Mine is sort of like on a medium flame. You don't want to cook it on a high flame. It'll cook way too fast. In fact, this probably should be a little bit lower. And you're kind of moving it around because you want your eggs not to be so, you don't want it to be hard. Well, my dad used to make me scrambled eggs in the morning. It used to be kind of hard, but scrambled eggs really should be on the softer side. I'm gonna remove it from the heat right now because I'm gonna get my heavy cream ready. Put it back on the heat. And probably when you see it's like that, it needs a little bit more, you know, to add your cream. Get my cream ready now. I'm adding 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream. Mixing that in. It's going to be nice and creamy. So these eggs are done. Okay, this is how I like to make my scrambled eggs with it. I'm gonna take it off the flame. Some people like theirs a little bit softer than this, but I like it like this. All right, now let's prepare our plate. Okay, so this is how I prepare my plate. First I get the corn tortillas and I just lay them at the bottom. Okay, these are the chips, I should say. And I'm gonna get my egg. And I'm going to add a nice portion. Like that. So depending on, you can make, this could be made for 2 or for 1. That looks so pretty. All right, then I'm going to sprinkle just a little bit of cheese. Since it already has cheese in it, I just want a little bit on top. And a little bit of cilantro on top. A couple of shakes of lime. Here's our garnish, which is, I'm going to garnish it all around the egg. Oh, look at that. That looks so, and guys, this smells so good. If you could smell it, oh my gosh. And like I said, this is good proportion for 2 people, 1 or 2 people, depending on how hungry you are. And of course, if you're making it for more people, then you want to increase ingredients. But look, that's a beautiful plate here. Gorgeous. Let me clean it up a little bit. Paper towel. And you definitely gotta add some avocado slices, like that. Yeah, that looks so good. Sprinkle a little bit more cilantro on top. And last but not least, a little bit of picante sauce. And I'm gonna add that picante sauce kind of like at the edge, going around my egg. You can make it as pretty as you want. It's all gonna be eaten. You can mix it all together. But what a beautiful plate this is. And what a beautiful breakfast this would be too. On a special occasion maybe, or just every day. All right, I'm gonna add just a little bit more avocado. Awesome. Okay, so now we're gonna make that special drink I was telling you about. So I made 1 cup of coffee and it is hot. I'm pouring it into this bowl here that has a pouring spout. Add to that coffee just a dash of cinnamon. All right, we want to make this Tex-Mex. Get my wooden spoon, stir that. I can smell that cinnamon already in that coffee. Yum. All right, now I'm gonna pour that into this glass. And probably about halfway. Then here comes something different. We're gonna add a scoop, 2 scoops actually, of vanilla ice cream. Look at that. To top it off with some Hershey's caramel, I say caramel, syrup, and some Hershey's chocolate syrup, just to top it off. It's my version of a Tex-Mex iced coffee, and it's gonna go so well. Let's add a little more ice cream to the top there, with our Migas. You probably want to drink this afterwards, but it's gonna be so good. It's so good. Yummy. Iced coffee, Tex-Mex style, by Doug. Doug's Migas. I hope you enjoyed it and give it a try. Thank you for joining us on Happy Cooking with Yvonne Douglas today. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe and like this video. And until next time, happy cooking, happy eating. Bye-bye.